Alright, so you guys want to try to find the next blue chip NFT. I know, it's everybody's goal and it's very hard to do, but in this video, I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible. So if you guys are new, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, and let's get right into it. So I think a lot of people might be asking, okay, what actually is a blue chip NFT? And it's actually very simple. The word blue chip throughout the investing community, whether it's stocks or anything else, typically means something that will hold its value over time, that will be here in a long time come. Now, the problem with NFTs is that 99% of them in a decade from now will not be here and worth absolutely zero. So the question is, how can we find projects that in the future will potentially be worth a lot more than they are today and at least hold their value in the near future? Well, in this video, I'll go over some examples and some thought processes you guys could use when trying to find the next blue chip NFT. Let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we have to consider is what makes an NFT actually a blue chip? Well, I think there are a few factors. First, of course, price. It has to be expensive enough to where it is not easy for the average person just to pick up and dump. Because actually, even though you may have a very cheap NFT that you think may be accessible for a large community, the problem is when you have an NFT that is so cheap, people will often buy it, flip it, and then move on with their lives and abandon it. Now, the problem with that is that over time, of course, you're not going to be able to build a very sustainable community, and ultimately, it may get a little bit tougher to try to build that community in the long haul and ultimately to get that project to sustain its value. Now, the second thing that comes to my mind, at least, when I think of what makes an NFT a blue chip is the supply. Now, there are a lot of projects that have a supply of 10,000 and are worth a ton. So on the Ethereum blockchain, especially, the supply doesn't seem to be that important, but it definitely is worth keeping in mind. Having 10,000 of something is ultimately going to be harder to sell than 1,000 of something. But if the project is good enough, it shouldn't matter. There should be enough rich people, enough whales to ape into that project and hold it for the long term. So supply isn't the be all end all, but it might be something you'd want to think about. And then the third thing, of course, and the final thing for me is community. So how exactly does a project develop a community? Are they having good community discussions on Twitter, Discord? Do they have a DAO? Are they working in a mature fashion to advance their brand? There are so many projects that even though they may command a high floor price and may have a lot of activity on their social media, you look at their roadmap and it is just abysmal. And I've caught this a few times before mindlessly aping into a project, and I've actually saved myself a good deal of losses in the past just by looking at the roadmap, looking at their website, going, man, this ain't going to go anywhere. And unfortunately, a lot of people aren't able to make that determination off of the start, but definitely getting a little bit more skeptical and being critical of what roadmaps actually offer, I think is a smart thing to do. Now, for any further, guys, if you guys are enjoying, make sure to check out my Patreon down below in the description so you guys can see exactly what NFTs I am buying and selling, as well as getting access to my exclusive NFT watch list, private chats on Discord, group coaching options, and so much more. Honestly, I think it's a steal for only $10 a month. Link down below. Alright, so in terms of options here, I have a couple Ethereum ones and a couple Solana ones, and I'll give you guys some examples of what I think they've done right. So the first thing, you guys knew this one was coming, Bored Ape Yacht Club. How exactly did Bored Ape Yacht Club go to commanding 115 freaking Ethereum? How is that physically possible? Well, I'll tell you how. They built one of the most impressive communities, period. Not just NFT this, NFT that. They built one of the most impressive communities in human history, and that is how they command such a ridiculous price. And this is the only art collection in the world. Yes, I'm using the word art. I believe NFTs are art. This is the only art collection in the world that has a supply of 10,000 and commands a price like this. I mean, 115 Ethereum, that's around 300 grand. That is absolutely insane. Now, how are these guys able to do this? Well, ultimately, what they have done is built themselves an incredible community. When you take a look at their website, just to get an idea, I mean, these guys really are on the forefront of what it takes to be an NFT. They have real life events. They have 10,000 provably rare Bored Ape tokens, fair launch distribution, all that. tons of celebrity support, tons of commercial support, building their clubhouse image, giving away Ethereum, having a very reputable team of people. There's just everything going right for these guys. They collaborate with other projects. They do things in real life. They actually did a meetup on a real yacht. I mean, these guys are just killing the game, and they are basically the gold standard for what an NFT should be. And I would be extremely fortunate to own one of these one day. I don't think it's happening, but if you're one of the lucky people who has one of these, treasure it, because I really do believe these guys will be around for a while. Now, another example of a blue chip is actually something that has an incredible function. This is Decentraland land. I first saw this back when it was going for like 0.1 Ethereum, probably a year ago, and I'm very, very upset that I was not able to get in on this back when it was much cheaper. But they are selling for a ton, and you are literally buying land that is in Mana. This is the crypto Decentraland, one of the top 30 or 40 cryptos ever in terms of market cap. And look at how many items there are, 97,000, and the cheapest item right now is going for 4.6 Ethereum. I mean, absolutely bonkers. Just an incredible rise from where these were previously. And again, you are buying basically a gold spot in the leading metaverse crypto out there. I mean, Decentraland period is going to be the biggest metaverse crypto in my opinion. I mean, I think it's pretty much uncontested that these guys have a head start on basically everybody. And once Mark Zuckerberg went out and started talking about the metaverse stuff and all the meta crypto genre started building, they already had a head start. They had years to work on and build what they basically have is a metaverse. So you could buy and sell, land here in Mana. And again, you are buying a little piece of the largest metaverse ecosystem in the world. And that is why I believe Decentraland land will always go for something. It's just a matter of what this floor will ever become. It very well could split in half tomorrow, but I think in 10 years, Decentraland land will be worth more than it is today. The next project here, migrating over to the Solana ecosystem here, is Thugbirds. These guys have been around since pretty much the beginning of Solana NFTs. They were one of the first 10 major launches, and these guys are just amazing. There's only 3,333 of them, but they really did build their community into something amazing. And again, even though their Twitter isn't super active anymore, these guys definitely still do command a pretty impressive floor price. So they have a DAO. This is the Thug DAO, which is exclusive to Thugbirds holders. So this is what they have to offer. And you look at their site here, the floor price is around 35, and they are basically pulling them from Magic Eden onto their little site here. But very, very cool. Again, this project has done some of the best community building in history. I mean, I still see these thugs all around in the profile picture. I still see them everywhere in my Twitter replies. I see these guys everywhere, and they have basically immortalized their project on the Solana blockchain. They have never dipped below a floor of 20 or 25 Sol. At one point, had a floor of 100 Solana, and it very possibly could happen again. I definitely could see these guys making a comeback simply because of their community building. And with another example of that kind of metaverse thing, which I was talking about a little bit earlier, we got the Sandbox, very similar to Decentraland. This is Sandbox land, 114,000 plots of land here, whatnot. And again, what I think is so cool about this is you are basically buying your immortalized spot in the second biggest metaverse crypto out there. So the Sandbox, again, is right behind Decentraland in terms of success, and it very well, tomorrow could be number one, when they could trade places and switch around. But the Sandbox, the floor of 3.6, yes, that's extremely expensive, but really it does look like these guys will be here to stay. They have an amazing community built of people who absolutely love the Sandbox. There are tons of cryptos and NFTs that are actually building in the Sandbox now, so just a ton to love here, and I do believe this will be another blue chip. Another example of blue chip I've talked about a lot is Metaverse. These guys were one of my favorite purchases. I bought them at 0.7, and these guys are the only NFT on this entire video that I actually own, simply because they were slightly more affordable than some of the other ones on here at the time. But what I like about this is they have actual utility. This is basically a land trading strategy game that is decentralized, and tons of mysteries and stuff are revealed through time. And when you take a look at my block here, this is my block, and you guys can see I'm earning MET every single day. So I earn 236 MET per day with a total of 1900 MET right now, and each MET goes for around 10 cents. So around $190 in passive income just from around a week of actually owning this and having this, which is just incredible. I can't believe these guys have actually been this profitable so far in terms of passive income. And again, I think people over time, as the 89% of city blocks are currently staked, I think people over time will definitely want to purchase these to make that passive income and have something with utility. So I do believe these guys will be around for a while, simply because, like the Sandbox and like Decentraland, this really is a great metaverse project that I think is here to stay. Now, the final project I wanted to show you guys is Full Send Metacard, which I've very strongly been considering purchasing, as I believe this will be one of the hottest projects in around a year from now. This is basically a ton of access to the physical and metaverse. So tons of brand ventures, lounges, gyms, festivals, casinos, restaurants, and more. This brand is pretty much ran by every major influencer I could think of. And just looking at their Twitter, I mean, not a whole ton of followers, but crazy activity. They're always doing, real life events. They're always working on stuff in real life. And that is what I love to see with a project like this. People are meeting up in person and talking about this. That to me, is such a prime example of a project I think will be around for a long time. They really do have reason to help grow this. They have made the money from the mint and the sales to be able to do things in real life. And it definitely looks like that their influencer pairings will be helpful for the real world. And that will definitely be a good bridge into this NFT. So with that being said, folks, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you guys are new again. Check out the Patreon down below in the description. Let me know, of course, what is your typical blue chip NFT and what do you look for in a blue chip project? Thank you as always. My name is Matt. See you guys on the next one. Peace.